Too many of us are stuck in the reruns of yesterday. You keep sitting there like life is some old TV show you can't turn off, watching the same scene over and over again. You keep pressing rewind, rewinding on your mistakes, rewinding on your failures, rewinding on that heartbreak, rewinding on that season when somebody walked out, rewinding on the business that collapsed, rewinding on the friendship that fell apart. And the thing about rewind is it keeps you moving, but it doesn't take you forward. You're going through motion, but you're not making progress. You're like a driver looking through the rearview mirror while the car is still moving. And let me tell you something, God didn't put a rearview mirror on your forehead. You got two eyes and both of them face forward for a reason. Because God is more interested in where you're going than where you've been. Yes, the past is real. Yes, it hurt. Yes, it shaped you. But it's not supposed to trap you. And here's the problem. Some of y'all have made yesterday your home address. You've unpacked your bags, hung up your clothes, decorated the walls of your mind with old memories, and you're wondering why your life feels so small. It's because you're living in a place God already moved out of. Yesterday was a classroom, not a living room. It was meant to teach you, not keep you. I hear people say, I can't let it go because it's a part of me. Yes, it's a part of your story, but it's not the whole book. And if you keep reading the same chapter, you will never discover what the author had planned next. You've been asking God for a new season, but God is saying, I can't give you something new when your hands are still holding on to the old. And sometimes, if we're honest, we rehearse yesterday because we're afraid of tomorrow. We know how yesterday feels, even if it hurts. But tomorrow feels uncertain, unpredictable, uncontrollable. And so we cling to what we know, even when what we know is killing us. But God will never lead you into something smaller than what He took you out of. If He closed that door, it's because He's opening something greater ahead. Stop building monuments to moments that were meant to pass. You cried, yes. You bled, yes. But you survived. And if you survived, it means there's still purpose breathing inside of you. You can't keep worshiping at the altar of your own pain. At some point, you've got to stand up and say, that happened, but it's over. That hurt, but it's done. That chapter's written, but I'm turning the page. When you focus on yesterday, you rob today of its strength, and you rob tomorrow of its promise. The enemy doesn't even have to fight you in your future. He just keeps you locked up in your past. But I came to tell somebody, you're too valuable to waste on a season that's already expired. Stop attending the funeral of something that God has already buried. I know the past feels powerful because it's familiar, but the future is more powerful because it's prophetic. God is not taking you backward. He's taking you forward, and forward is going to demand that you fix your gaze, set your mind, and move your feet toward where He's calling you. Yesterday is gone. The windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror for a reason, because what's ahead is greater than what's behind. And the next chapter of your life is waiting for you to turn the page. Every time you get ready to move forward, here comes a distraction. It's almost like the moment you start feeling momentum, the moment you start taking steps toward your dream, something shows up to pull your attention off course. It's not always something big. Sometimes it's subtle. A little text that stirs up old feelings. A random phone call that drags you into somebody else's chaos. A conversation that doesn't feed your purpose but drains your peace. You said you were going to work on your business plan, but somebody called you with gossip. You said you were going to spend time in prayer, but suddenly your phone is buzzing with notifications that have nothing to do with God's plan for your life. You said you were going to write the book, start the program, launch the idea, but then you got caught up scrolling through everybody else's highlight reel, comparing yourself until you lost your confidence. The truth is, distractions are destiny thieves. They don't just waste your time, they rob you of the focus that fuels your future. You don't even have to sin to miss your purpose. All you have to do is get distracted long enough to drift off course. The enemy doesn't have to destroy you, he just has to distract you. Because if he can't take your anointing, he'll take your attention. You think the devil's coming at you with horns and a pitchfork? No. He's coming at you with conversations that don't matter, arguments that lead nowhere, and opportunities that look good but don't align with your calling. He knows if he can keep you tangled up in the wrong battles, you won't have the energy for the right ones. That's why some of you are exhausted, not because you're doing too much, but because you're doing the wrong things. You're fighting battles you were never called to fight, defending yourself in rooms you were never called to enter, chasing approval from people you were never called to impress. Every minute you spend on the wrong thing is a minute stolen from the right thing. And here's the thing about distractions: they're loud. They scream for your attention. They make you feel urgent about things that are actually unimportant. But destiny whispers, purpose whispers. God's instructions are often quiet, and you can't hear them if your life is filled with noise. If you don't silence the distractions, you'll never hear the instructions. Some of you have been praying for clarity, but you don't need more clarity. You need less noise. God has already told you what to do, but you can't hear him because you're tuned into the wrong frequency. You can't keep your ear on the world and expect to hear the voice of the Spirit clearly. So you've got to get intentional about protecting your focus. That means saying no more than you say yes. That means stepping away from conversations that pull you down instead of building you up. That means being willing to disappoint people so you don't disappoint your destiny. Some folks will call you selfish, but they don't understand. This isn't about being selfish, it's about being strategic. You can't fulfill your purpose if you're spread too thin. Destiny requires focus, and focus requires discipline. You've got to learn how to shut the door on some things and keep it shut. Every yes you give to a distraction is a no you're giving to your purpose. And every time you break your focus, you lose momentum, and momentum is the vehicle of manifestation. I'm telling you right now, there's too much in you to be living distracted, too much potential, too much calling, too much promise. Don't let small things steal big dreams. Don't let temporary noise drown out eternal instructions. God is speaking, but you have to make space to hear him. Your future is waiting on your focus, and your focus is waiting on you to cut the noise. Focus isn't magic, it's discipline. It's not something that just falls on you like rain from the sky. It's something you train, something you practice, something you protect like your life depends on it, because it does. Focus is the difference between people who dream and people who do. It's the invisible line between intention and manifestation. You've got to be able to tell yourself, no, I can't go there. No, I can't be part of that. No, I can't give my time to something that's not giving life back to me. No, I can't scroll my life away watching other people live theirs while mine sits in the corner untouched. Discipline is not punishment, it's protection. It's the fence you build around your purpose so nothing and nobody tramples over it. Some of you keep wondering why your future isn't unfolding, but the truth is you've been leaking your focus into things that don't matter. You've been spreading your energy so thin that when God opens a door, you're too tired to walk through it. And it's not because you don't have what it takes. It's because you've been feeding distractions instead of feeding your destiny. I've learned that focus will cost you friends. It will cost you invitations. It will cost you approval from people who think you've changed. And you have changed, because you can't stay the same and step into something greater. Focus will force you to choose between being liked and being legendary. It will make you miss out on some moments so you can step into your mission. And here's the truth. Focus is not about doing everything right. It's about doing the right things consistently. It's about understanding that time is not refundable, so you can't afford to waste it. Every yes you give has a cost. And if you keep saying yes to everything, you'll end up bankrupt in the area that matters most. Focus is also about learning to be okay with the fact that you won't always see results immediately. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline says, I will keep doing what I know I'm called to do, even when I don't see the fruit yet. Focus without discipline is just a burst of motivation. It starts strong, but it fizzles out when life gets hard. Discipline says, rain or shine, up or down, I'm showing up. You can't build anything lasting without that kind of commitment. You can't write the book if you only write when you feel like it. You can't build the business if you only work when it's convenient. You can't have a strong relationship with God if you only pray when you're desperate. Discipline keeps you going when emotions have left the building. And I want you to hear me on this. Focus is the currency of destiny. That means you trade your attention for your future. What you give your focus to is what will grow in your life. If you focus on fear, fear will grow. If you focus on your past will grow bigger in your mind than your future. But if you focus on vision, if you focus on the promise, if you focus on what God told you, your destiny will begin to take shape right before your eyes. So you've got to guard your focus like a treasure. You've got to say, I can't afford to lose this, because your dream isn't waiting on more opportunities. It's waiting on more focus. Your calling isn't waiting on a perfect season. It's waiting on a disciplined you. And when you master the discipline of focus, you will watch doors open that distraction kept shut, and you will step into the future you've been praying for, because you were willing to stay the course when it would have been easier to quit. When you get a vision of who you can become, it changes everything. Vision doesn't just show you where you're going, it pulls you out of where you are. It yanks you up out of the pit of your present and sets your feet on the path of your promise. That's why Joseph could survive the pit. That's why he could endure the prison. He wasn't living by what he saw around him. He was living by what he saw ahead of him. And when you've seen something in your spirit, when God has shown you a glimpse of who you can be, no present circumstance can convince you otherwise. Joseph's brothers thought they were burying him, but they were really planting him. Because when you have vision, even a pit becomes preparation. When you have vision, prison doesn't mean punishment, it means process. Joseph knew the palace was in his future, and vision will make you endure things that would break people without it. Vision will make you take a beating and still get back up. Vision will make you work a job you don't like, because you know it's just a stepping stone, not your final address. When you lock eyes with your vision, your future becomes stronger than your past. Your vision starts talking louder than your history. Your mistakes stop having the loudest voice in the room, because your vision is shouting, there's more for you. There's better for you. There's a destiny waiting for you. And you stop letting people define you by who you were, because you know who you're becoming. Vision is powerful because it's not limited to your current resources or your current reality. Vision comes from God, and God never shows you something you can accomplish without Him. That's why vision is often bigger than your budget, bigger than your connections, bigger than your abilities. If your vision doesn't scare you, it's probably not from God. He gives you a picture of what could be, and that picture becomes an anchor in the storm. Some of you are tired right now, not because you're weak, but because you've been trying to live without vision. When you don't have vision, every setback feels permanent. Every delay feels like a denial. Every hardship feels like the end. But when you have vision, you see beyond the delay. You say, this is just a chapter, not the whole story. This is just a step, not the destination. Vision lets you endure the season because you know the purpose. And let me tell you something, vision will separate you. People without vision won't understand why you don't settle. They won't understand why you can't just be satisfied with good enough. They'll call you picky. They'll call you stubborn. But what they don't understand is that you've seen something. You've seen yourself free. You've seen yourself whole. You've seen yourself walking in purpose. And once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. Joseph kept his eyes on the palace. He didn't know the exact route. He didn't know the timing. But he knew the end result, and that knowing was enough to keep moving forward. That's what vision does. It pulls you even when your feet are heavy, even when your heart is tired, even when your hands are empty. Vision whispers, keep going. It doesn't push you from behind. It pulls you from the front, drawing you into the future God designed for you. So if you've been feeling stuck, ask God for vision. Ask Him to show you who you can become, not just where you are. Because once you see it, once you lock eyes with it, you will never again be satisfied with living beneath it. And you'll find that the pull of your future is stronger than the grip of your past. Your future is not sitting around waiting for someone to sign off on it. It's waiting for you to step into it. It's not about permission. It's about participation. You keep saying, one day I'll start the business. One day I'll write the book. One day I'll take that leap. But while you're talking about one day, the days are passing you by. Tomorrow isn't some magical place where everything is perfect. Tomorrow is built on the choices you make today. If you want a different future, you've got to start living like it's already here. Stop saying someday like it's a strategy. Someday is how you delay destiny. Someday is how dreams die in the waiting room of your own hesitation. You're waiting for the right conditions, for the perfect timing, for all the lights to turn green at the same time. But life doesn't work like that. If you wait for perfect conditions, you'll never move. You've got to walk by faith. Even if the road ahead isn't fully lit, you've got to take the step before you see the staircase. Faith is not about knowing every detail. It's about trusting the one who does. God didn't tell Abraham every step of the journey. He just said, go. And Abraham went, not because he saw it all, but because he believed the one who called him. That's how you step into your future. You move when God says move. Even if your legs are trembling, you act before the applause. You build before the blueprint feels complete. Some of you are waiting for a sign, but the fact that you woke up today is your sign. The fact that you still have breath in your body means God's not finished with you yet. Your tomorrow is already calling your name, and the sound of it is echoing in your spirit every time you dream, every time you imagine, every time you feel that pull towards something greater. That's not just ambition, that's destiny knocking on the door you're now. You can't keep treating your future like it's optional. It's not an accessory to your life. It's the very reason you were born. Every delay, every excuse, every hesitation is robbing you of time you can't get back. You've got to decide, I'm going to start now. I'm going to prepare now. I'm going to act now. And when you start living with that urgency, you'll see God start moving in ways you've never imagined. The enemy would love nothing more than to keep you comfortable in the present while your future goes untouched. He'll keep you busy with distractions, stuck in cycles, telling yourself you're getting ready while years slip away. But there comes a point where you've got to stop getting ready and start going. There comes a point where you stop packing for the trip and start walking toward the gate. You don't need everything to be perfect. You just need to be willing to risk looking foolish, willing to fail forward, willing to believe that what God placed in you is worth stepping out for. The door to your tomorrow doesn't open from the outside. It opens from the inside when you decide you're ready to turn the handle. So take the meeting, make the call, fill out the application, write the first page, launch the idea. Don't wait for the crowd to cheer. Move before the noise, and the noise will follow. Your tomorrow isn't somewhere far away. It's just one bold step beyond your today. And the only thing standing between where you are and where you could be is the courage to move right now. Your future isn't waiting for permission. It's waiting for you to move. Stop hiding behind someday, because someday is how dreams die. Conditions will never be perfect, so walk by faith and step out now. God doesn't give the full map. He gives the call, and you answer, Tomorrow is shaped by the choices you make today, so act like it's already here. Apply for the job, start the business, write the first page, take the leap. Your destiny is calling your name, and hesitation is the only thing holding you back. Open the door from the inside and step forward now.